The Organization for Child Fellowship is a Christian non-profit with a mission to support the needy through evangelism and lending a helping hand. Founded in May 2015 by Reverend Gabriela, she's made a lot of impact in the lives of many children with a very small and humble beginning. The Organization for Child Fellowship has supported children in areas such as health through our health screening, areas in education through some of our library projects in Adan, our library project in Osenasi, our library project in the Volta region at Bapa, and also through our feeding project. Through our 5-year journey, we have supported a lot of hospitals, a lot of orphanages, a lot of communities. Not forgetting our prisons project, we have made donations to all the female prisons in the country.
Every breath that I have, I will sing your praise. Every day
we want to use this medium to thank our sponsors and all our individual supporters who have been a part of this organization. Not forgetting our volunteers, we want to say a big thank you. I want to say a big thank you to God Almighty as we celebrate our 5 years. We will still need your support to continue impacting lives as we work on our current project on a center to accommodate street children with a vision to reduce the number of street children. You can support us by calling the number on your screen and visit our website through the link below. Thank you so much. Welcome once again to the Noble Woman Show. I'm your host Gabriela, and stay tuned for today's interview. Are you planning a trip? Or you're going for a holiday with a lot of destinations all over the world? Just decide on where you want to go, and see Ryan Travels will take you there. We offer UAE visa, air ticketing, tour packages, hotel reservations, corporate travels, and many more. You can contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623 091 or 0302 408067. You can email Ryan Travels at c.ryantravels@gmail.com. Ryan Travels, you pack, we plan.
Herbal and Skin Clinic. One more nam abefo kwan so esa enyarewa bi to say stroke, diabetes, typhoid, infertility, bone injuries, any yaria ahodo nyina. Sabon honam any enyarewa so stretch marks, enkotwa, one more eternity, one more OPD, omo lab baby a yehwehwe nipa ye moja any ye dwonso wo pese wo so ete. Relief fatigue ni nyina ye no eye ho adwuma wo hwehwe ye kira kwan a wo behu yen e wotema committee 11 General Hospital Quantum a bra pa Shell filling station ho pepe. Obetimi afraye. E was 0508 261 725 and 0244 884 793.
Alna Herbal and Skin Clinic. Ejuma ejuada kosi fieda 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. When your number stretch marks hamu and as a fibroid na how odi ebra Alna Herbal and Skin Clinic e betri tu ma oyara nyamidi mebeko.
Alna Herbal and Skin Clinic. Yambo taye any Ghana for apomu.
Okay. Today my interviewee is the managing director for Fay International Limited, the producers of FAYTEX sanitary pad, and she's called Jane. And Jane, welcome to the Noble Woman Show.
Thank you.
How has it been like acting as a managing director of this company?
It's, to be fair, it's been fairly easy. I was more than anything, FAYTEX has always been part of my life. My mother acquired the company in the early 80s, so it's been part of the family business.
Okay, so it's your mom's initiative, and so what was her drive? How come she started this?
Her drive was basically looking at the poor access to clean sanitation in the country and the poor access to safe, hygienic, organic sanitary material to use during one's menstrual cycle, and also to use whilst delivery in hospitals, maternity clinics, delivery wards.
And so was she able to achieve all these things?
She was, yes, but of course in a country where we do have a lot of underdeveloped areas, getting access to certain areas was a challenge. Of course now things are better with the roads, and basically with modern technology we can communicate with people in distant places, and you have social media also, which brings everyone together, so we get our information across more easily than we were able to before. But there's still a lot of work to do. There's still people in Ghana at the moment, women in Ghana at the moment, who still don't use sanitary material during the menstrual cycle or during delivery, and these are the people that we're all trying to assist.
What gets you so much into your mother?
I'm more than into her. I mean,
So that's the question. What gets you into her? What's about her that is so much?
Her presence, her essence. In my opinion, she is a saint. She was such a loving person. She had a very big heart, very charitable, and I just wished I could have a fraction of what she possessed, which is the most loving, the most forgiving, the most compassionate, the most kindest person I have ever met. And I don't say this because she's my mother, because our relationship was much more than mother-daughter. It was best friend, it was soulmate. It is best friend, it is soulmate, and she is the love of my life.
So what do you miss about her?
Her smile, her cheekiness, her wit. She was an exceptionally intelligent woman.
And so you see certain qualities in her that you possess?
Oh, I can't say that. That would be very vain of me to say that. But,
you could say some of them.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a very modest person, so
And
I would
she
like to believe that I have some of her qualities, but that would be for other people to say. I don't think I'm
Which ones do you see
qualified
yourself?
to. I think I'm compassionate.
And which
I don't
she
think
is.
that's yeah. She definitely exhibited amazing levels of compassion, and she was a very tolerant person. She accepted everyone's point of view. She was smart enough to know that you don't have to agree with everything everyone says or does, but you have a common ground. We all have common grounds that we can meet, and as humans we share very, very basic connections with each other. So there's always something that you can find in another person that you can connect with, regardless of your goals or your ambitions or your beliefs. And for me, that was one of the values that I think was an amazing.
So with your
behavioral,
with your journey with her, your journey with her,
Mhm.
what was one thing that you saw in her that you've taken that you would also say that every or any woman should also have?
her strength. I think her strength was very commendable. Her strength in times of hardship, in times of distress, in times of turbulence. As a businesswoman, you don't have everything going easy for you, as is the challenges of life for everyone. And whether there were issues at home or with the family or with business. You know, she would always recruit some kind of inner strength from within herself and basically ruffle her feathers and just move on with what she had to do. I mean, to see that in action was, you know, exhilarating. And if I could only, you know, as I said, have a fraction of any of her attributes, I would be very honored and blessed. I also learned from her that you have to be able to love yourself and be compassionate with yourself and be kind with yourself in order for you to exhibit these attributes towards others. So it starts with self, and then, you know, you express it to, or you project it to other people. And this is something that's lacking in society, where we don't have confidence within ourselves to love ourselves enough, or to trust ourselves enough, or, you know, to have confidence. And therefore it makes it difficult to exhibit those feelings to others. But she taught us how to do that. She taught my brother, my sister, and I to do that, because it came naturally to her. So we just picked up, you know, by virtue of being around her.
Okay. You as a manager of FAYTEX, what are some of the attributes that you exhibit in your subordinates, should I say, that makes them feel okay around you?
Well, number one, we don't like to use the term subordinates at Fay, because we believe that every member of staff is part of the FAYTEX family. So we start with that principle, and we move on from there. So we encourage everyone to be individualistic, to be able to express their goals and their points of view. But we also embed into every member of staff that we're also part of a team. So teamwork is encouraged, and we set up team goals for, you know, team members and so on. But the individual is very important in the sense that we able to think for themselves, able to set goals for themselves, and then we review them with each other. I think with leadership, it's evolving. You know, we came from a past where, as a leader, you would, you know, lay down the law with your staff, and they had to oblige, or else, you know, you're out the door. Of course, with the leadership, you still have to be firm, you still have to be disciplined. But once you've got those regulations out the door, you create an atmosphere, as I said, of, you know, for people to use their intelligence, to be creative with their ideas, and also to think outside the box. I know that's a cliche, but not to just sit in the office and you just you know, pour out things that you can pick off the internet or things you've read in your notes. We encourage creativity in the sense that challenge yourself and then bring results. And if we can't achieve those results, we try and find out why that's happening, and how we can help as a team to support the individual.
Okay, when you are a woman, okay, and you are in a position like you yourself, and you have so many men under you, and they are giving you some sort of pressure, how should you handle yourself as a woman?
I think first and foremost as a manager, and second as a woman, is you need to establish the ground rules from the get-go. So if anything contradicts with what you have set out, you try and nip it in the bud there and then. So as a woman, I set down rules in the sense that you have to respect yourself, and you have to set standards of how you want to treat your members of staff, and how you want them to treat you. So based on those standards, then you can, you know, exert yourself. So for example, if someone is saying, making derogatory comments to other women who are part of the team, I'll set them aside and explain to them that we live in a world where equality reigns, and just because one is a woman, gender doesn't negate her abilities to think adequately and to be a successful individual. So we, you know, one talks to the offending party and tries to make them reason and use logic instead of emotion. And I find a lot of men use emotion to dictate how they think a woman should act or how they think a woman should talk based on tradition. So when we move into the modern times and we try and see that we're all equals here and we're all trying to achieve the same goals, and at the end of the day we want the same things. We want to be successful, we want to be loved, we want to be cared for, and we want to be acknowledged for what we do. whether here at work or in the homestead.
Okay. When there's dispute between your staff and whatever thing that they're not agreeing with, or whatever dispute they have is affecting your work, what would you do?
Well, obviously we call them in, we speak with them individually, and then we speak with them holistically as a team, and then we address the pertinent issues. So if it's affecting the staff, or other members of staff, or it's affecting our progress, then we try and disalign them from one another for a period of time, and we try and iron out the reasons why the confrontation ensued in the first place. And 10 out of 10, it's because of either misunderstanding or misalignment with each other. So it's fairly, once it's tackled with elegance and respect for one another, I think it's easy to resolve. There's a solution to every problem. It's just how to tackle it the right way, with respect and with honoring one another as team members of FAYTEX.
Okay, so what does FAYTEX stand for?
Well, it stands for safety, it stands for organic products, and it stands for empowerment, because a lot of the work that we've done with FAYTEX is to promote not just the image of a safe, affordable, healthy sanitary towel, but it's also to encourage women to be educated about menstrual hygiene, feminine hygiene, and general hygiene. And it's a very sore subject in Ghana. We've done our research where a lot of women do not talk about menstrual hygiene or feminine hygiene because they're shy or they're timid or they feel that it's a taboo subject. So we try and highlight these issues, because when you don't discuss something and you don't bring it out in the open, you have unresolved health issues which go without acknowledging them, and it causes a whole lot of problems for the women who are suffering, because they're suffering internally. They can't talk to their spouses, they can't talk to their family, because 10 out of 10 they're shut down anyway, and they can't talk to the medical community, because when they go to the hospitals, the doctors aren't expressive with them, and they don't really pinpoint the actual problems that they're going through. The nurses are no better. So we have a platform where we encourage women to ask questions, learn about their organs, learn about their body, learn about what they're capable of, learn about their strengths, inner and outer, and learn about menstrual hygiene, which is very, very important. It's a very key subject. When we have a country where a lot of women are ill, it affects the home life, because a mother who isn't able to take care of herself isn't able to take care of her children or her spouse. So these are critical issues that we address.
So when you say substances which are not supposed to be in a sanitary pad, what do you mean by that? How should a sanitary pad be?
Well, sanitary pad to sort of bash any particular product, but when a sanitary pad isn't made from wood pulp or super absorbable polymers, but is made from cotton wool and gauze, it ceases to become a sanitary pad. And yet there are many sanitary pads like this masquerading. So there are many products like this on the market masquerading as sanitary pads.
And so what kind of health problems do they tend to give?
Well, when you insert cotton wool and gauze into the vulva, which is a highly sensitive area, it's dangerous, because you wouldn't do that with your mouth. The inner lining of your mouth is very similar to the inner lining of your vulva. Now, you wouldn't stick cotton wool there and leave it for a period of time, or even for a few seconds, because it will stick to the inner lining. Same with inserting cotton wool and gauze into the vulva. It causes infections. It can lead to toxinoma, which is toxic shock syndrome. It causes infection, which can lead to discharge, and it can lead to various forms of cervical or ovarian cancer. Amongst other things, we find that people are also using, dried powder with charcoal.
The chemicals they put in.
Yeah, the chemicals they put in. They put in some chemicals for some of the imported pads. They put in sprays or perfumes, which you wouldn't spray the inner lining of your mouth. Why would you do that with your vulva? Now, the vulva is an alkaline area, and these chemicals are acidic. And we all learned in basic chemistry if you mix an acid and an alkaline, you get a reaction. And we are getting reactions.
Tell any woman out there, in terms of one, how to keep herself, and two, if she finds herself in a position like a manager, a CEO, or whatever, how should she also lead?
Okay, so we'll start with the health aspect. I think every woman or every girl needs to be educated primarily from home. So as mothers, it's our duty to teach our girls how to be clean, how to be hygienic, and to encourage our daughters to be educated in the sense of what their biology is about, what their female anatomy looks like, you know, to provide yourself with that kind of education so that if you do have a health problem, you're first of all endowed with the knowledge to say, right, okay, I'm informed about this because I've done my research, and then based on that you go to the hospital and then you can gather more information and probably do some diagnostic tests if the need be. But from the very beginning, you're an informed person, you're an educated person. It doesn't necessarily have to mean academic education, but with the age of the internet now, we can access knowledge by our smartphones or tablets or what have you. It's not difficult to get information. Back in the old days, you had to walk to a library and provide yourself with information about physiology, biology, anatomy. It's very easy now. One can do it just by keying in certain words in the search engine. So to encourage our daughters to be primarily educated about our female anatomy is very important, and to encourage them to be educated. Because it's important that the female population of Ghana is educated, because when every female is educated to a decent standard or secondary or tertiary level, then we decrease the chances of poverty, because when we have a lot of literacy amongst women, poverty is heightened. So educating the girl child and women in general is key to the economic growth of every country. From a leadership point of view, of course, I encourage every woman to take on the role of leadership, because I think we have that knack for nurture anyway. It's ingrained in us. Whether you are a mother or not, we have this ability to be nurturing and more compassionate and more loving. But at the same time, we're also educated in the field that we've chosen. So if you're an engineer or you're a doctor, you apply your principles of what you've learned in school or in college, and you have an atmosphere where you honor yourself as a woman. You honor yourself, you honor your job, you honor your staff, you honor your colleagues. And I think we come from a more compassionate place. But yes, of course, it's also difficult for women, because we have standards that we have to basically to compete in a man's world. We have to be better educated than the men. We have to be smarter than the men, and we have to have better grades than the men, which is unfortunate, but this is the world we live in. So it just shows you that we need to work harder at doing what we do, but there's nothing wrong with that. Hard work has never hurt anyone. It rather makes you a better person, and it gives you the opportunity to assist all those that you choose to assist. So in a leadership managerial position, you are well equipped as a woman to assist your members of staff and to engage with them on a more profound level, because of who we are and because of the levels of education that you brought into the business.
Okay. Growing up.
Many, I'm sure.
Yes, that you wouldn't want any lady to do. I want to know the mistakes, then you would tell me why you wouldn't want any lady to repeat that kind of mistake.
I think as a young woman coming up into the world in general, not necessarily the world of business, we try to please people too eagerly, because we're a bit naive, and in pleasing others we feel that we'll be more accepted or more appreciated, and it doesn't work that way. Primarily you should please yourself, and you should basically not put yourself out to please someone else. There's nothing wrong with aiding someone or assisting someone, but never at your expense. And I think as young women entering the workplace, we tend to assist others at our expense. And I think once you're once you're confident, once you grow in yourself as a woman, and once you grow in confidence, you realize that certain things could have been avoided by putting yourself, out there at your expense. So I think if one advice I would give young women is to believe in themselves more, and to be more confident and to believe in their abilities, because we're very capable. But as a young woman, we are distracted by the world and the world of men, because we feel that we're either not good enough or we can't really compete on that level. But I'm here to say that we can, and we should, and we should have more confidence in our own ability. Please people because you think it's the right thing to do. For example, I mentioned earlier about charity, doing good deeds. Giving up yourself in that way is fine, but never giving up yourself where you will jeopardize yourself in any way, whether it is by intimidation or whether it is by jeopardizing your health or your emotional mindset or your physicality. And I think, as I said earlier, a lot of young girls want to please because they want to, climb that ladder. But there are many ways of doing it without hurting yourself or jeopardizing yourself.
There's no way you would stop working for FAYTEX, even if you had something else to do.
Yes, because primarily, as I said, my main life goal was to spend the rest of my life with my mother. And seeing as FAYTEX was very much a part of her life, I would have been obliged to be here with FAYTEX, with my mother. Apart from that, looking at what we've achieved as a small company, I think,
Did you say it's a small company after about 35 years or so? Am I right?
It's a small company,
right?
yeah, 37 years.
And it's still small, is that what you're saying? Because it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
we have potential to grow.
Okay.
So we're still, in terms of industry, looking at our output and so on, we're still considered a small industry. But we have the potential to grow. We will be growing with the assistance of all our members of staff, all the hard work that they've all put in, and I'm sure with the presence of my mom's energy within my sibling and I, will continue to grow, if anything, for her, and also to be able to contribute to say that, right, we've contributed in the education of so many women who didn't have this knowledge before.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for coming to my show.
Thank you for asking me.
Okay, this has been an awesome time here with Jane. I'm the managing director for FAYTEX, and this has been the Noble Woman Show. My name is Gabriela. See you sometime next week. God bless you.
The Organization for Child Fellowship is a Christian non-profit with a mission to support the needy through evangelism and lending a helping hand. Founded in May 2015 by Reverend Gabriela, she's made a lot of impact in the lives of many children with a very small and humble beginning. The Organization for Child Fellowship has supported children in areas such as health through our health screening, areas in education through some of our library projects in Ada, our library project in Osenasi, our library project in the Volta region at Bapa, and also through our feeding project. Through our 5-year journey, we have supported a lot of hospitals, a lot of orphanages, a lot of communities. Not forgetting our prisons project, we have made donations to all the female prisons in the country.
With every breath that I have, I will sing your praise. Every day of
We want to use this medium to thank our sponsors and all our individual supporters who have been a part of this organization. Not forgetting our volunteers, we want to say a big thank you. And I want to say a big thank you to God Almighty as we celebrate our 5 years. We will still need your support to continue impacting lives as we work on our current project on a center to accommodate street children with a vision to reduce the number of street children. You can support us by calling the number on your screen and visit our website through the link below. Thank you so much, and God bless you.